everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial for the Emperor's Children. Yes, we are back with the other brand new Elite Infantry. Yes, it's the Flawless Blades. This is the set I've been really excited for. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Wonderful characterful unit that Games Workshop has very kindly sent me early to build up and paint with all of you, and that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So, nothing here is going to be particularly surprising, because we've done a lot of Emperor's Children on the channel already, but it's good to complete the set just so that you guys are fully supported. So, they've all been primed in Grace here, and we're basically going to be focusing on this guy here, but we are going to be, of course, painting all three, and we will point out the things that are important as we go along. Now, the colour we're going to be using first is our classic, roughly 2 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Volupus Pink mix, and we're going to be applying this over top of all of our pink armour. Now, I've got the box art / product photography open in front of me, and rather than it kind of being an almost even split between pink and black, generally tending towards the black like it was on the other infantry, our Flawless Blades are actually majority pink. So I'd recommend having a look at the box art to see what they do, at least for your first set, because that's what I'm going to do. So we're just going to be applying this over the majority of the armour plates. Of course, as we've already kind of mentioned, I'm not going to be applying this over the top of all of them. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is take some Black Legion, and we're going to apply this over top of all of our remaining armour, as well as the soft joints in between the armour, but beware, for some of it is flesh. We do not want to apply Black Legion over that. And the other place we're not going to apply this over, slightly differently to everything else in the Emperor's Children range, is this shoulder pad. The one with the logo on it. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some Sigvald Burgundy. And we're going to apply this over top of their tabards. With all that Sigvald Burgundy applied, we're then going to take some Wyldwood. We're going to apply this over top of any leather details. This is mostly going to be belts and holsters and stuff like that. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Dark Angels Green, and we're going to apply this over top of all the smooth cabling and any other jars / canisters and stuff that they have on their backpacks, for example. With that all done, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade, and we're going to apply this over top of all of their skin. Now we are going to add a little bit of variation in here, but we are going to do this over the top of all 3 of our individuals. But don't worry, like I said, we are going to Give you a couple of extra episodes for Slaaneshi skin. Episodes? A couple of different recipes. Just remember there's a little bit more skin on these guys than you would perhaps normally expect from power armoured individuals. With that all done, we're then going to use two colours, Striking Scorpion Green and Poxwalker. I'm going to use this over the top of any tassels. Now, unfortunately, we only have one here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some Striking Scorpion Green, and we're going to apply this over the top of all of this tassel-y business here along the pauldron. Like that. Then we're going to wash the brush, grab some Poxwalker, and we're going to add that in here. Like so. Sticking with this guy just for the moment, we're going to take some Terradon Turquoise, and we're going to apply this over the top of this leather detail here. We're also going to apply it over the top of his hair. And just whilst we're waiting for that to dry, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Shyish Purple. We're going to apply this over the top of the tongue down here. We're also going to apply this over top of the tongue of the gentleman who is licking his sword. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Black Templar. We're going to apply this over top of the Terradon Turquoise. Next up, we are going to add a little bit of variation now into that skin, and we're going to start by taking some Druchii Violet, and over the top of one of them, we're going to apply this. So with that Druchii Violet all applied, this does lead us on to something I've just corrected. So we've applied some Black Legion over the kind of this thing, the shield rondel, whatever it was. No, it's a chest. Anyway, we've applied some Black Legion over that, but what we've also done is on this individual, we've actually applied Black Legion over the top of the greave here as well, because it wasn't reading right to me with pink, so I've just gone in there with some Black Legion. Anyway, point is our next colour is going to be some Targor Rageshade. And we're going to apply this over top of this individual's skin. So with that Targor Rageshade applied for our third, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Dreadful Visage. I'm going to apply this over the top. So with that all done, it's now time to work on the metallics, and the first of these is going to be some thinned down Grey Knight Steel. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the blades. which is give them this kind of bluish finish. Well, bluish silver finish. Which might seem a little bit weird, but just trust me. So with that Grey Knight Steel all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the kind of mechanical areas and all of the trim on our flawless blades. But one thing we're not going to do is apply it over the trim on this shoulder. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to apply it over the top of the field at the shoulder. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. And we're going to apply this over top of all the remaining details. So with that all done, it's now time to add some shades. And, well, the first of these is going to be a contrast paint. And it's going to be some Space Wolves Grey. And we're going to apply this over top of our swords. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the black power armor. And we're also going to use this to shade most of the silver. However, we're not going to use this to shade the silver that is on the shoulder. And so with all that Nuln Oil applied, we're then going to take some Druchii Violet. And we're going to use this to shade all the gold, the silver on the shoulder, and the Sigvald Burgundy. And so with that all done, we're now going to take a tiny little bit of Black Legion. I'm going to apply this over the top of their eyeballs. So with that all done, our flawless blades are now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready, and they're looking absolutely fabulous. However, we're not going to leave them there, of course not. We're going to take them to the next level. And we're going to do this by adding a couple of layers, a little bit of blending, and some highlights. So, the place we're going to start is with those layers. And the first of these is going to be, well, it's more of a glaze, really. And, well, the colour is going to be some Emperor's Children. But what we're going to do is we're going to thin it down with sort of roughly 4 or 5 parts water to make it really runny and turn this into a lovely kind of thin pink glaze, which you can barely see there on my thumb. And we're going to use this over the top of, well, all the pink armour if we need to. So if you need to kind of smooth out any inconsistencies, this is the way to do it. So we'll just down here on the leg. You just want to go in here and apply this pink glaze. just like that sort of thing. So with that all done, what we're then going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Luxion Purple and Lahmian Medium. And we're going to apply this over the sword blade. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply it over the top of the whole thing, like that. And then we're going to wash the brush, get rid of the water, and then we're going to blend it out to around about the halfway mark. Just like that sort of thing. So with that done, you should have this absolutely gorgeous looking sword. So what we're going to do next is our final relayer, as it were, and that is going to be some thinned down Ironbreaker. And this is just on the shoulder. What we're going to do is we're going to layer this over the top of the silver. Just taking care to try and avoid all that lovely shading. So with that all done, it's now time to begin highlighting proper. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some thinned down Wazdakka Red. And we're going to use this to highlight the cloth. And so with that Wazdakka Red all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Pink Horror. I'm going to use this to add just a little bit of a kind of element of pinkiness to that cloth. Just on like kind of the sharpest light points. And we're also going to use this Pink Horror to highlight any tongues. So with that all done, we're now going to move on. And we're going to take some thinned down Fulgrim Pink. And I'm going to use this to highlight all of our pink armour. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the black power armour. With that Dawnstone applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey. I'm going to use this to add just a couple of little spot highlights to the sharpest corners on all that black power armour. So with that all done, our next colour is going to be some thinned down Sybarite Green. I'm going to do a bunch of things here. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this bit of leather here on this individual. Down here, we're going to highlight all of the cables and stuff. We're also going to use this to highlight this individual's hair as well. And what we're going to do on the canisters on the back is we're just going to draw some little squiggly lines and sort of bubbles and stuff like that. Just like that kind of thing, really. So with that Sybarite Green all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Gauss Blaster Green. I'm going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the leather, so just the sharpest little points where we want to add a little bit of extra light, like that just there. We're going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the cables. Just like that sort of thing. And naturally, we're also going to do this for the hair and the bubbles. But for the hair, all we need to do is just take really tiny amounts. That's way too much. 1 second. Wash the brush. There we go. Really tiny amounts. And just add little spots at the end. There, like that. And up this part here. Like so. And finally, as mentioned, we're just going to take a little tiny little bit in our bubbles. Again, we're just going to add little dots here and there. And so with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Pallid Witch Flesh. And we're going to use this to highlight all 3 of our individuals' flesh. And so with that all done, it's now time to work on the metallics. And, well, we're going to once again use some thinned down Ironbreaker. We're going to use this to highlight all of our silver, including our swords. And so with all that Ironbreaker applied, we're then going to finish them off by taking some thinned down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the gold. Apologies, but there is one last thing to do, which is to take some Aeldari Emerald. I'm going to apply this over top of any gems. There's not very many of them, which is why I forgot about it. We've got one there. We've got one here. And so with those bases now complete in the same style as the rest of the Emperor's Children, our flawless blades are now finished. I really love this kit. I think they look fantastic. I cannot wait to actually do some more, because I'd like to expand the flawless blades out. I'd like to do some of the kind of dual wielding ones as well. So I'm just kind of really excited by these. Maybe get 18 of them. Who knows? I don't have time. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.